Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another timeless Pickacard. This one is a relationship Pickacard reading. Um, Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to let me know if it resonates with you in the comments. I'm using my favorite Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle cards by Athena Noctua. I will also be using Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teaching of Abraham, Getting into the Vortex cards. And I will be using my mini tarot deck with the meanings. So let's get into it. I am here to help you with the clarity that you seek. I can only bring information that comes through. I am not here to tell you what to do. Excuse the sound of my water bottle making such a rude noise. I always encourage people to trust their own intuition. You know what you're feeling inside. And so when I pull cards, it's just basically to help clarify or confirm what may be already coming forward for you. Okay, take your 3 deep breaths and let's get started with pile 1. Okay, pile 1. So you're asking a question about your relationship, and your answer is this is the sign. Your relationship card says, my imagination attracts all cooperative relationships. The universe and all physical and non-physical players in it is responding to vibrations that you are offering, and no distinction is made between vibrations that you offer as you observe and vibrations that you offer as you imagine. If you will simply imagine your life as you want it to be, all cooperative components will be summoned, and even more important, all components that are summoned will cooperate. It is law. The experience you have with others is about what you evoke from them. So your interactions bring forth whatever it is you want to evoke from someone. There's also no difference between vibrations that you're offering in this reality as you perceive it or as you imagine things. Now, whoa, what do I have is the Lovers reversed. What I noticed about these cards is that we've got a pair of hands, we've got a couple here, and we've got a couple here. Now the Lovers reversed is speaking about frustration, separation, failure to meet the task, avoidance of choice, or overcommitment. There's a struggle here, and you're not sure which direction to take next in this relationship. You can be separated now or thinking about separating. You could be avoiding the choice to separate or avoiding making a choice as to whether to give it another go. And overcommitment can speak to just maybe having someone so much the center of your world that you block yourself out and they're not reciprocating, and it's not making for a happy or healthy situation. So Esther and Jerry Hicks, the cards there on the end, are asking you to understand what is it you're trying to evoke from someone else. Are you trying to evoke more love from your partner? Are you trying to evoke more understanding from your partner? In that situation, you need to give more love and more understanding. You have to give what it is you want to receive. As a life coach, I always guide my clients to inner reflect first, to self-assess first, because it's so easy for us to launch into everything I do for you and this is what I get in return. Granted, there are genuine situations where the other person is not reciprocating or they are emotionally and mentally abusive. There are most situations that I've encountered. If you sit down and do an inner assessment and even look at why you do what you do, then sometimes you are able to rework the energy of a relationship. You're able to rework expectations. You're able to rework how things flow. You're able to have a conversation with your partner in a different way that you may not have thought about before, because sometimes it's easier to point out the faults in others. It's easy to not see where we're not quite perfect. And so meeting in the middle that way can make your partner more receptive to what you're perceiving. When they understand how you see the relationship, and then you understand how they see the relationship, you can have a happy compromise in the middle where you can begin to work on things from a healthy place in a healthy way. So if you simply imagine your life as you want it to be, all cooperative components will be summoned. What does that mean? Well, you are one of the biggest components in that equation. So in order to create the life that you want, you have to understand how you're going to bring that about. And more important, all components that are summoned will cooperate. How are you summoning these components? Are you trying to coerce and force and wrangle, or are you being calm and collective and peaceable? So this is your sign. This is the sign. Whatever you're struggling with in your relationship, whatever it is that you have come to an impasse with, do your inner assessment. Even go into why it is that you are triggered the way you are, and then you can have an open and healthy conversation with your partner and come to a conclusion about your frustration, about whether or not you should separate, and who's failing to meet the test. Is it you? Is it your partner? And why are you avoiding making a choice in this matter? Find the time to be still and really go over how things are and how you desire them to be and how you think you can get yourself there. I hope this gives you the clarity that you're searching for, and if it resonates, drop the word component in the comments. I'll catch you in the next one, pile 1. I'm off to pile 2. Okay, pile 2, let's see what you have. You're asking a question, and it's asking you to get more information. Let's see what this... Should I leave or should I stay? Well, it is very empowering to discover that your patterns of thought do not have to follow your current situation, and therefore your current situation on all subjects can change. We do not recommend taking the physical action of leaving a relationship without deliberately coming into thought alignment with the new desires that have been born out of your current relationship. And then, whether you stay in this relationship or move on to another, you can have exactly what you desire. Well, if you are debating leaving a relationship, get more information first. This is almost similar to pile 1, where I was giving a bit of advice on whether or not separation would be a good idea. And you have, my whole deck was upside down. Was it? Cut out. Okay, you have the Queen of Wands in reverse, which is aggressive, demanding, dramatic, obstinate, jealous. There's deceit and self-doubt. Okay, so your patterns of thought do not have to follow your current situation, which means you change your pattern of thoughts, you can change your situation. My first go-to that I always advise folks to do is to do a self-assessment. And so this is asking you to come into thought alignment with the new desires that have been born out of your current relationship, which means that you could be frustrated with something in your current relationship. You can be at an impasse where you feel like the best thing to do is leave. But the question is, how did you get here? Why are you here? Are you being aggressive and demanding? Are you even being dramatic and obstinate about a particular situation in your relationship? The word jealousy is there as well. So I guess what I'm asking you in the self-assessment is to go back and look at how you got to where you currently are in your relationship. Look at your partner and try to understand why they are responding to you the way they are. Maybe you're not being as mild and attentive as you used to be. There is a energy that's off between you, so the need to pinpoint where this energy is coming from is important in order to decide whether it's a fair assessment to end the relationship or to continue it. And the only person that you can control is yourself, and the only person whose head that you live in is yours. So you need to sort out the matters of your head and your heart and figure out what is triggering you, what is upsetting you, what is causing you to act out. And when that's done, then you can find a calm space to have a conversation with your partner and find out what page they are on and find out how they perceive the relationship. And once both of you open up about how are you both looking at this relationship and how it got to the point where it was, then you can have a much needed conversation as to whether or not it needs to be continued or if you need to part ways. So I'm hoping that this brought you clarity and that made sense, because even if you were to jump and move into another relationship without doing a full inner assessment and understanding of how you got to where you are, you're only going to repeat the same thing in a new relationship. Whatever you're looking for, you may just be able to have in your current relationship. You just need to get more information, whether that information be from your own inner assessment or from your partner. It's best to bring it all together before continuing a pattern that you may not have even realized you have formed. So pile 2, this is your reading. Drop the word alignment in the comments if this resonated, And I will see you in the next one on to pile 3. Okay, pile 3, here we are. We're asking a question about your relationship, and your answer is yes. Ooh. Our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. And so the behavior that you elicit from your child is more about you than it is about your child. This is actually true of all your relationships, but since you think about your child more than you do of most others, your opinion about your child plays a greater role in their behavior. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Take a methodical approach and you'll achieve your dreams. Stay responsible, community group, communication growth. Okay, so let me review those of you who are like, I don't have kids. How does this apply? Well, if you note, it says it is true of all your relationships that the behavior that you do not like, that you do not wish to continue, is what you will see more of, because that is what you're focusing on. So for those of you who do not have children, that is how this applies. And the question you're asking, your answer that you got is a yes. It is, I can't tell you what your question is, but in terms of changes and expectations, maybe if you shifted around what you saw in your person and saw more of the good and what brought you to them in the first place and what created all the happy moments that you have together, then it will create a shift in the relationship, right? The Knight of Pentacles speaks to taking a methodical approach. It speaks about being dependable, patient, clever, efficient, and responsible, and also community groups and energy and all that good stuff. So I would suggest that in being methodical, that you do go back over what it is that drew the two of you together, and look, and even for those with kids, not to exclude you, but it's just that my first reaction was, it's a relationship reading. This card is about kids. No, it's speaking to seeing something that you do not like and hyper focusing on that, and then being frustrated and triggered and upset and just all out of sorts and disturbing the energy. Like I said in the previous 2 readings, this is so interesting. Do an inner assessment and do a historical assessment of your relationship. Now, the inner assessment will bring you to understand what is triggering you. It'll bring you to understand how you got to this point in your relationship. So what is it that's setting you off? Why wasn't it setting you off before? Is this something that you experienced in a previous relationship? Things like that. And a historical assessment is one where you look at, how did you end up with the person that you're with? What was it that made things so joyous and so amazing for the relationship to become a relationship? And now look at, how did you get to where you are now? And in doing so, you'll be able to sit down and have a conversation with your partner. There may be behaviors in you that are undesirable, that your partner is frustrated with. And this is the thing why I always talk about inner assessments. You could be looking at the imperfections of the person you're with and totally glossing over your own imperfections that could be triggering them and hurting them and rubbing them the wrong way. And this is where you both have to meet in the middle, see the relationship through each other's eyes, and then decide what the next step is going to be to improve the situation, to make it better. to bring it back to where it was, where you both lit up when you saw each other, that sort of thing. So be patient and be efficient. Be responsible. Be careful with your words when you decide to speak with your partner. And it also speaks to being clever. So you can do shared journaling. You can play simple games in order to open you both up to get the communication flowing. And this card does speak to communication and growth. So there's hope yet. I hope that this resonates, and if it does, drop the word child in the comments. And that's all I have for pile 3. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for joining me in this timeless relationship reading. I truly hope that you found much more understanding and definition for what it is that you're seeking more information on. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.